Sharon, I know you want to do this intro.
I do.
Go for it.
We are so excited, y'all, to have Katie, now County, back with us. Katie was on before her wedding, and we talked about wedding planning. She was a client of both myself and Mike. Her wedding is over. She got married on September 18th. But we want to hear post-wedding. We want to know the good, the bad, the ugly, everything from a bride that is now post-wedding.
Well, first of all, there is no ugly. I'm looking at these photos right here. Mike, come on now.
Happenings.
Oh, okay. So she's going to give us all the details, right?
All the things. We want to hear all the things, Katie.
Thanks, Katie, for coming back.
You're welcome.
We must not have been too bad the first time she came back around.
I did.
She's so sweet.
She loves us.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. First words out of your mouth. What was your overall experience of that day?
Perfect.
Oh, awesome. I don't think you could want any better response. So did you get to enjoy yourself?
100%. And I shocked myself how calm I was. I thought, I'm a horseback rider back in the day, and so I would do shows, and I literally couldn't eat for the whole time until I went out and did it, and then I would be hungry afterwards. Nope, wasn't nervous. It was perfect.
You look very relaxed in these photos, even getting ready.
Yeah, I was so calm.
She was so calm, and we got her to eat lunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just
I mean,
all fell into place.
Where to start? Overall planning. What is what's something that you would like to share, or multiple things you'd like to share with people about that planning process? Now that your day has happened, what would you share with people about the planning process?
I actually think something interesting that I learned that day is that my mom even said it, we were so involved in the wedding planning process that by the time the day got there, I just felt so confident in my team and the vision that I had. And so I really wasn't worried about little things.
You knew they would execute it
right,
like you all had discussed and planned.
Or at least they knew my vision enough to make it what I would want it to be without me having to be nitty gritty in all the details. And so it was so funny to me because I had Andrew texting me, my husband now, but he was texting me kind of questions about when we were doing things, and so he wasn't as involved, and so he had more questions than I had. So it was just kind of funny, but yeah, it was perfect.
My favorite memory from that day is as we were leaving, I went to give Katie a hug, and I said, "Was it all that you dreamed of?" And she said, "It was so much more." And that just made my whole made every single second worthwhile when you can hear a bride say that.
Well, I love it when I was lucky enough to be at the wedding. And, I've been to a few weddings and worked with a few brides that are a little panicky. She doesn't know, she's nervous.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw you get out the bus or the limousine, you had a smile on your face. You were happy-go-lucky. You can tell just by looking at you that you were having fun and enjoying the day. And if anything, that's one thing that a bride should do is just enjoy the day. Don't get caught up in it.
Okay, I have a question though from that. Do you remember the people that were there? Do you remember the day?
I do. So I just got those videos back, and I honestly remember every single moment that they captured.
That's awesome. So many people don't.
I know. I don't know.
She was so calm and so happy the whole day.
So she had the space to enjoy it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I did.
And I think one of the good things that, when I hear her talking, what I hear as a planner is we worked so closely together, and also with Mike, same thing, that I think we knew Katie well enough that I felt like I could answer for her, and I knew what she would want. And one of the things that comes to mind is you bought the monograms, the wooded monograms.
Yes.
And we weren't really sure what we were going to do with those. And when we decided to sash them around the cocktail tables, I ended up loving the look. But I didn't feel like I had to run in and ask Katie, is this okay? Because I felt like I knew Katie well enough that she would like that. So I think it's really important to let your vendors get to really know you so that they feel comfortable making a decision on your behalf.
Really, sometimes things happen at weddings that the bride doesn't even know about. But I can honestly say at Katie's wedding, it was just as smooth. And I wasn't nervous. I wasn't panicking. I was excited to be there.
Yeah.
And seeing you and all your girls, I mean, you all looked like you were having a blast, and from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. And I will say, I think that also really helped me. The people that I had chose to be with me that day getting ready, it wasn't overwhelming to me, the amount of people, but they truly were the people that I wanted to spend most that day with. I think you end up spending more time with your bridesmaids and your group than you do with your real husband at the end of the day on your wedding day. But each person had a role. Like Abby, my sister-in-law, she fixed my eyelashes that were like coming undone or got stuck to my face, and then we had someone recurling my hair a little bit because it was hot. Like everyone had a role and they all helped out.
I have to say, it was hot that day.
It did.
It was
shockingly hot.
It was very hot.
I was so shocked by that, but
it was a beautiful day.
That
It was a
great.
beautiful day.
With Katie's permission, we will share some of these photos out. And I know you used, I don't want to mess up their name.
It's Honey and Bee Photography out of Nashville, Tennessee. The photographer's name is Kinsey Hammock, and she actually was a God wink for us.
Yes.
Katie had originally had a different photographer that became unavailable, and I had worked with Kinsey before and just fell in love with her, and so we gave her a call. She was available, and man, you guys, when you see these pictures.
Well, one thing that just stands out to me, and I believe this has come up before on an episode, I see it looks like your bridesmaids all have different style dresses, same color, but different style dresses. Sharon, you're seeing more of that, right?
A lot more. Yeah.
It's very trendy right now.
They're just letting the girls pick what they're comfortable in and staying within color palette.
And what color was this, Katie?
Dusty blue.
It's considered dusty blue?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. And the flowers, like, what summarize this for us?
What do you mean summarize?
Well, describe the flowers. It's a podcast, so people might not be able to see pictures. Could you please describe the flowers that you made for Katie's day?
Well, what we used was blue hydrangeas.
For those who don't know, we all have known each other for a long time, and we love to pick on each other. So if you're just listening, we do love each other.
But we used blue hydrangeas. We used a white cabbage rose, which is one of my favorite. There was little touches of baby's breath in there. Dusty Miller. The Dusty Miller is the same color as the Dusty Blue gowns. Very soft, very, very romantic. And the way the garden, she had the wedding in the garden, and I'm sure you'll show some pictures there. I mean, the garden was absolutely beautiful.
Sharon, I think Mike did a much better job describing those flowers than we would have, right?
Yes. That's why
I was trying to get
That's why Mike stays on speed dial. Yeah.
Right. Beautiful setting. Just absolutely gorgeous. And this was at Castle
And Key.
Castle and Key Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky.
So Sharon, kind of walk us through this day.
One of the things that I loved about, I love Katie. I've known Katie for a long time, but some of the things that really stand out to me that made Katie's wedding unique was that she had such a vision for what she wanted. So it wasn't like Mike and I really had to come up with a lot of design. We just listened to what Katie dreamed, and then we figured out how to execute that. And I think that's always a plus when a bride really knows what she wants. I also, one of the things Katie did that stood out to me was she wanted some time with Andrew.
Is that what we're
morning.
seeing right now, the first look?
No, that's her dad.
With your dad. I'm sorry, with
She
your
wanted
dad.
some time with Andrew that morning, so they actually were able to, they didn't separate the night before. They were actually able to have breakfast together on wedding day. And I've never had a bride do that before, and I really loved that. And I felt like it calmed both of their nerves that they shared breakfast together that day before Katie came to hair and makeup.
Yeah, and we also exchanged our gifts too. So that was like a private moment just between us two.
Without all the hustle and
Yes,
bustle
so
and
no one
everything.
was photographing you or anything like that. So that was nice.
How special.
Right, and then when we did hair and makeup, I actually commandeered, we had a hotel block, so I actually commandeered 3 hotel rooms. So we did hair in one room, makeup in another room, And then I had another room that I think it was Katie's brother's room.
Yep, we kicked them out.
But we made them make the bed and have the room perfect so that we could go in and do pictures in a clean room with a bed that was made. So it was like not stressful at all during hair and makeup because we had enough room for everybody to spread out.
That's an interesting point there because it's a lot of stuff getting spread out in a room.
And
and all
Katie
that
was
kind of
able
stuff.
to go room during the visit as she wished rather than being crammed in one room with 20 people.
Yeah, some rooms you it's like a tornado went through.
Right.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's my new trick is I now take hotel rooms away.
Something that I thought was very unique and very special was Andrew's dad
Yeah,
did the ceremony,
he did.
and he did an absolute wonderful job.
Yes.
He did great.
He was great.
Very, very touching, very emotional. I don't know how he did it, to tell you the truth, because I would have stood up there and bawled like a baby.
He did, and I rewatched the video. He really didn't cry. It was
No,
nice.
he
Great.
held
He did a good
himself
job.
together
Yeah.
very well.
He did. Yes.
Another thing that really stands out to me is I hope that you guys will look at the pictures because it's just hard to describe it. Castle and Key has a sunken garden, and that's where our ceremony was, and it's just gorgeous. So there were a lot of decor details in that I hope we can share. Cocktail hour ended up being probably my favorite area, honestly. It
That's
was
what we're looking at right
absolutely
now.
stunning.
Gorgeous.
The wooden sashes there, that's what I'm talking about, where we sash the cocktail
Good one
tables.
was the cocktail.
But my favorite moment from her ceremony was Katie is one of 4 children but has 3 brothers. And they were her flower men.
Yeah, they were.
That was hilarious,
And
actually.
they came down the
Wow.
aisle to Mambo number 5 and let's just say they did not disappoint.
Oh, they did great.
Yeah, that was a good way. I had 3 of them, and so we had 6 people in our wedding as wedding party people on each side. And so I really didn't feel like it was fair to ask Andrew to have my 3 brothers be half of his groomsmen, but I really wanted them to be involved at the end of the day. And so it ended up being like so special that that's what they ended up.
I remember standing back and you know, I always stand back and tell people when to walk. So the rest of the bridal party's down and I've got Katie's 3 brothers and you literally could see their legs
Oh,
twitching.
they were
They
ready.
were so
They were
ready to go, and they wore iridescent cowboy hats and fanny packs to keep their flowers in.
Yep.
And I just remember that moment where it was me and her 3 brothers, and like everybody was, I was just giggling. Like it was so
It was
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Well,
And one of them was just enjoying it more than the other. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
I mean, it was a kid.
okay, so I see a signature drink here. And this involved your dog, right?
Yes, that is Nala. So we could not have her at the wedding because she's a dog. So that was our way of incorporating her.
That is so adorable. And so you did a first look with your dad. We mentioned that briefly.
I did. Yeah, my goal was to get him to cry, and I succeeded.
Can we talk about the gift?
Yes, yeah, we can. So if you go back, you should be able to see it eventually. But I got him cufflinks and I put our picture in it when I was a baby and I was at a wedding with him. And so that was like our first wedding that we were at.
Aw.
And then our song was I Loved Her First. And so I wrote on there, I loved you first. On the
Oh
other
my
cufflink.
gosh.
There was some
Yeah.
tears being shed during that.
Working
Yes.
with Katie's dad throughout the 18 months we worked together, he's pretty stoic. He's an accountant.
Yeah.
You know, he matches the.
Disclaimer, she doesn't mean anything towards
I'm an
accountants.
accountant too,
Yeah.
so we're two
No
opposites
accountants were
sides.
hard
Yeah.
when making this podcast. But anyway, John's pretty stoic. He kids around a lot, doesn't show a lot of emotion. And, you know, Katie's mom and I had talked, like, wonder what he's going to do. And I was lucky enough to be standing off to the side. And I saw it, and he was just starting to cry. He was like, okay. And then he turned around because he was losing it.
Yeah. And he said, peace out, I'm out.
Peace out.
Peace
Yeah,
out. And
dad
it's in
out.
that video.
And that's when
So
you,
it was
is that
great.
when you leaned your head back in that picture when he was like, peace out? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see
Yeah.
the wooden, Sharon, referring back to the wooden things you're talking about. How adorable.
Yeah, that
Well,
came out
go
great.
back a few more pictures. Right. Let's see. Where there was a cake topper and a dome. I think you went
I think we need to go for
Go the other way. I'm sorry.
The other way, okay.
Right
it.
there.
Right there.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
This is Oh, it's just very old in our family. I don't even know. Great grandma.
Great.
Yeah, I gotta add all those G's in there. But
And the only reason I know that, sorry to interrupt you,
no,
is
that's good.
Katie's mom wrote out a card.
This is from her wedding.
They are
Great,
cake topper. Great grandma.
We sent Katie's mom Pam wrote out a card that explained the story of this. But we had a memorial table, and that's Katie's grandma in the red dress
Okay.
that you see there. But on her memorial table, you can see the card that Pam wrote, and that's been in their family for all these generations. And it was very important to them, but of course we didn't want to put it on top of a cake because, for one thing, I was terrified the whole entire day that something was going to happen to it. So we used it on the memorial table, and I just think it was the most special touch, and having the card there that explained to guests the significance of that piece.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And we had it displayed at cocktail hour instead of in the reception, where guests had time to look at the card and look at the pictures.
And really understand the significance of
And then
that.
we actually had a photo album as well of people that had passed away.
Yeah. So that was all the people that were important to us. And Mike did a great job of making that look pretty too.
Yeah.
Incorporated because it was an ugly wooden face at the bottom. So he fixed that.
I think people are always looking for unique ways to incorporate sentimental items or people that could not be there, or
it was a way to make it not sad too. It wasn't a
Exactly.
sad thing.
no.
Like if you, I don't know that there's actually a picture of it, but that's my Nana there, and then like we have wedding photos of the other people that have passed.
I saw the album over to the side.
So
Yes.
that's my grandparents on my mom's side, and then Andrew's grandparents are there as well. And so I thought that was so cute.
I'll
to
never
have
forget
everybody.
Katie's grandpa, Papa J, who I love, Papa J. But he came in, and that picture of that beautiful lady there is his wife. And he got a little misty, and he said, "That's just how I remember her."
Yeah.
And that was a really special moment that day as well. Because he wasn't sad, he was just remembering.
And for those that are listening on the podcast, the video will be up on YouTube. And I'll see if there's not a way for us to incorporate those pictures since we're referring to them a lot in it. So if you want to go and check that out, never mind the dog toy that you may have seen in the beginning of the video. I forgot we were videoing.
They're amazing pictures. I cannot shout out Kinsey
I love this
from
head
Amy
table.
enough.
She did an amazing job.
And she was so present throughout the day. I mean,
So much
okay,
fun.
can we talk about how you guys were bustling my dress for me and Kinsey's on the ground, Mike's holding things up, and Sharon's there, and like my mom's nowhere to be found, right? She's socializing. So they had to like bustle my dress for me, and I was like, does that not mean that you have a great team? They do that for you?
We love it. We
Team
love it.
pride, whatever they
Yeah.
Mike, would you like to admit how many dresses you've been under? In
Hers was a good dress. Though. We've been under disaster dresses too.
do. Well, we had that one mother of the bride that got stuck in the dress. Yeah. That was not good.
yes.
Yeah.
And so this was, what is the, what do you call this here, Mike? What's this atmosphere of this here? I don't want to say
You put me on the spot.
rustic
Well, I know
chic.
it's rustic. I was gonna say rustic chic.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, but then I was like, that's what it looks like to me.
That was a very unique because it was not a barn.
Is that what you consider it, like rustic chic?
Yeah, I think so. It's called like the Shooking Building. From
It was actually an old bourbon warehouse.
Yeah. I liked the romantic vibe too.
Yeah, with the
That's why I almost hesitated when I said rustic chic, because it's just got a little bit different vibe
But
to it.
we incorporated rustic chic. So we took like the gold Chafari chairs and put those with the farmhouse tables, and then the farmhouse chairs with the white tables to try to just mix everything in together.
Mhm.
the market lights,
Yeah.
Yes.
the chandelier. I mean, it was very perfect for that whole setting.
Yes, there's a fireman.
Yes, I love the fanny packs and the sunken garden that you referred to earlier. I mean,
And it was nice because she also had when she had her dance with her dad and the first dance and all that. She also danced with all of her brothers. That was very emotional.
They danced to "You Got a Friend in Me" from Toy
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah, and they all cut in. And then
My husband was actually Katie's DJ, and he's been DJing, I think, 35 years, and kind of like your dad, not. And I looked up, and Ron had tears in his eyes when she was dancing with his brothers. And he told me when he ate dinner that night, he said, "That's one of the coolest moments I remember."
Sharon, this is one of your favorite things. Were there tears?
Yes. If you keep
Okay.
going, eventually.
They did a first look, but there were still tears.
No, we didn't do first.
Not a first
Oh.
look, but you saw each other.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
there we
there's-
go.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's the tears.
What a beautiful setting. Absolutely gorgeous.
Mike really, the garden's gorgeous to start with, but if you guys get a chance to look at these pictures, shout out to Mike. He really just rocked
That
it out.
added
Well, I mean,
touch
she
to
told
it.
me what you wanted, and
Yeah.
we kind of ran with it. That's cute.
Yeah, but I mean, you made it come to life. Like, I don't even remember what we talked about half the time. I was like, I don't like this. I think that these aren't pretty. So can you cover that up? And like, can you make this look good?
Well, one of the things I remember too is Katie had a photo opportunity. She had a photo wall that a family member had built, and it was really cute, but they kind of didn't get the measurements just right on the legs. And so the legs were kind of sticking out, and honestly, they weren't pretty when we set up. And so I called Mike, because I was there the night before, and I called him and I said, hey, these legs are sticking out. I don't love them. Can we do something? And I'm telling you what, he covered the legs of that flower wall. It all looked like it was 100% intentional, like we had planned it for 18 months.
Yeah.
And it just added so much
to it.
and got the legs out of the way where nobody would trip on them. We didn't have a safety hazard. He did such a nice job.
I'm looking at a bunch of different family photos, and that setting is just gorgeous for a wedding party.
it
I mean,
is.
for anything. Absolutely. So the dances with the special dances. Then let's talk about the reception. So, what did you decide on for food? Let's walk through it.
Yeah, we had chicken and green beans and mashed potatoes.
It was delicious.
She had the best cheesy potatoes I've ever had in my whole life.
It was honestly so good.
I actually reached out to the caterer when I got assigned side dishes for my family for Thanksgiving and asked for the recipe for the cheesy potatoes. Scallop potato. What do you call them? Scallop potatoes?
Yeah. So that was cool. She did. I mean, it was just great.
One of the things I loved about Katie too was so considerate of her vendor team. I always try to do a vendor table because your vendors are there with you all day long and there's no place for them to eat. She was fine with that. We did a vendor table, and then all of her vendors ate along with her guests. And it really made everyone feel very appreciated and fed.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a time for the vendors to take a breath and rejuvenate a little bit before we went back to work on the rest of the reception.
It looks like she thoroughly was having a great time.
They had a great time.
Andrew takes credit for that photo.
He does.
Yes. He's like, see, I made you do a dip and we got that photo.
I'm just so glad that you remember the day, remember who was there to celebrate with you, because that's such a big thing when we talk to people. They're like, it was gone in no time.
It did go by very fast. I will say that. Like, it goes by so fast. But I truly do. I attribute it to, like, I trusted my people. I was confident in marrying Andrew at the end of the day.
Yes.
I was like, this is just here to have fun. Like, that's all. That's the whole thing.
So you did the traditional dances. Did you do the other traditions with, I saw you do the cake cutting. Did you do bouquet and garter, or did you
We
do?
did not do that. No, we didn't. And I'm kind of glad that we did it because I think we took up some time, like, with the brothers doing a dance. That's kind of a bit different. And so at that point, it was like, okay, let's get everyone on the dance floor. Like, it's time to have some fun.
That was planned out perfect.
And yeah.
Katie also had a plated meal, and I love a plated meal. I think it's such a nice touch, but it does take a little more time
Right.
sometimes. So I think that we would have really shortened her time for dancing had we done those kind of things.
Yeah. That's my brother crying at the father-daughter dance.
And the market lights, just a wonderful touch, especially towards the end of the evening.
That's very, very popular.
Not toward
right
the
now.
end of the evening. I'm sorry, for the dancing portion.
Yeah.
Market lights, I do feel like that is popular.
Yeah, it
We
is.
hear a lot of people talking about that.
So, Kate, one thing, what grabbed your attention that day, and you remember the most?
Oh, jeez. I guess I would say seeing Andrew down the aisle. And I also remember he just, like, held my hand so tight. And one of the videos, like, hey, you can listen. Like, like a little bit. Like we were standing up there because he was just
nervous.
he was nervous and just holding on. He was like, I'm here. So yeah, that was my most favorite memory is just seeing him because he practiced the whole thing with, hey, I'm not like super emotional guy. Like I'm not gonna cry. Don't get upset that I'm not gonna cry. And then we come down, he's already crying. My dad's like, I'm just crying, and then I start crying because I was just like, oh gosh. So
I tell you what, if I go to a wedding and I cry, so I mean, people that doesn't cry, or especially a groom that doesn't cry, they're just not crying.
I still cry every time. It's always that moment where I fluffed their dress that last time and I say, okay, go. There's just something like my belly kind of hurts a little bit, and I start to feel like I'm going to cry. It happens every time.
oh
wow.
yes, this is my dad.
John's going to kill us.
I'm not
He
saying
did
anything about it.
He did it. Yeah, my dad. I'll say it. He lifted up his shirt in the middle of the dance floor because he was having that much fun.
And Kinsey is such a good photographer.
I know
She caught
that
every bit of
moment.
it.
It's like 5 seconds. I cannot believe that she caught that.
Has he seen that photo yet?
Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
knows.
Okay.
It's a signature move from his.
Okay, so talk about this was,
Balloon. Let's talk about that because that was hilarious.
yes, let's talk about that balloon.
I did hear some things that happened with the balloons.
I've never laughed so hard in all my life.
Was it about them being tangled?
Yeah, and the water bottles did not work.
Sharon's not going to talk during this portion, but we are. So,
But look at the picture
Oh,
opportunity.
the pictures
I
were
mean, they just
perfect.
came out
Pictures
so
were
well.
Once again, thank you, Kinsey.
So I love that.
Sharon probably won't do that again. She'll have to come up with something else.
Katie, what did we decide, like a month before maybe?
Yeah, I could not figure out, as much as I knew so many things, I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do that.
Let's get the photos. Absolutely
The
gorgeous
balloons
with the
look
balloons.
Oh, 100%
They do.
worth it. It was worth
But
it.
I wish we had video of about 5 minutes before this.
I don't know if Katie really even knows what happened.
Okay.
I know now a little bit more, but I didn't know at the moment.
About the scissors?
Yeah, you had to cut off all the
Sharon can't say what she said.
Sharon was just,
She told me that she wanted to do this lighted balloon exit, and I've done it before, and it was not a problem. And I'm like, oh, sure, like we'll get that, not a big deal. Well, I called the company that I had always used for lighted balloon exits, and they would not travel as far as Katie's venue.
And the venue had very strict guidelines
Yes,
about
very
the
strict
balloons.
guidelines.
Okay.
So,
did you know that in advance?
no, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry.
I ended up calling 8 different places to try to find a balloon vendor. And apparently helium
1-800 call Sharon.
apparently helium has gone up quite a bit and not as many people are doing it now. I called my best friend Mike, who literally laughed in my face and said, no, I'm not doing that. So I found a vendor. I found a vendor just literally off of Google and hired this vendor.
The funny thing is Mike didn't know you were referring to him.
Oh, I 100% was referring to you.
Just clarifying.
So anyway, I found someone to do it, and they came to deliver them. And when I talked to the venue about doing it, she said, well, you're going to have to sign a release because we are a distillery, and it's dangerous for any balloons to be released and then get into any of our equipment or anything. Plus, there are neighboring farms. Animals could be hurt, And I'm just thinking, oh my God, I just wanted a balloon. Like, that's all I wanted. So they tell me that I will have to personally sign a release and that I will be responsible if any balloons go up into the air
If any balloons are injured.
and that
There
they
it
could keep my client's damage deposit if any balloons were actually released into the air. So I'm like, okay, well, this is a Sharon move because I'm now telling 150 drunk people to hold their helium-fueled balloon and not release it into the air. So I came up with the idea that if I tied a bottle of water onto the balloon, they would not only have something to hold, but
They can drink. They're
I'm
thirsty.
giving them a bottle of water. I'm hydrating them right before they go out to go home with all their alcohol on board. So it all seemed like a really good idea. We got the case of water, never even ran it by Katie or anything. We just got it done. What I did not know is while I was with Katie in the hair and makeup, when they came and delivered the balloons, they put them in a storage room that had a huge ceiling fan at the top. So while the balloons did not float to the top because they were tied to water, the fan ran all night long. So the ribbons on the balloons just got all twisted up. But I
Like,
don't
we need
realize
GoPro of this.
I don't realize this until
Right before you need them.
Like 10 minutes before you need it.
I have 10 minutes to get this exit accomplished. The venue's telling me, 10 minutes, we're turning on the lights. I have 10 minutes. We go into the storage room, Rachel, my assistant, and they are completely tangled up. So we bring them out, and as I'm bringing them out, the bottles of water just start falling off. They're rolling all over the ground. We're tripping on them. Like it is.
Is this before or after the
I
scissors?
laughed so hard. I almost ripped my pants.
My best friend Mike is doubled over laughing at me, not offering to help me at all. We carry him out, water's dropping off of him, rolling everywhere. I'm like, let's just get the picture. We'll pick up the water in a minute. Like, let's just, get her pictures. And there was the sweetest little intern working at the venue who kept trying to untangle the balloons. So now I'm down to like 8 minutes. And I kept telling this intern, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. So finally I looked at my assistant and said, give me some scissors. And as the poor girl is holding all the strings of the balloons, I just grasped above her hand and I just cut them right out of her hand.
And didn't say anything? You just cut them?
I did maybe say an F word.
Did it belong
We're
with
not
the
talking
18?
about the framework.
And
Thank God you had an 18.
And then we started passing out the balloons, and I went and got Katie and Andrew, brought them out the side door, and we had our photo, and no one except for me, Mike, and maybe some other people saw that I had a moment.
And out of all that, I think there was only one balloon that was let go.
One balloon was
One
let go,
balloon.
and they did not make me pay for it.
That's great, and I was blissfully unaware.
Well, I'm looking at this photo that we're going to share with people.
Yeah.
This person right here to the left of you who's having a fabulous time.
My mom.
That's your mom.
Yeah.
She's like, woohoo, we made it through it.
Pam was so much fun all day long.
I mean,
Yeah.
that photo is priceless.
It's all attributable.
Well, and look at your dad's face, too.
Absolutely. Looking through these pictures, and I've done it quickly, I'll tell you what I see is love and joy
Yep.
from everybody that was there.
And you know what? I would do the whole balloon thing again for this picture.
Well, and this isn't the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, there was other ones too, but that absolutely was.
Katie, I just wish you had a recording of what was going on and being said during right before you got out there. Because you
But
would
that's
laugh.
exactly,
You
you're
would
not
laugh
supposed
so
to know.
hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And honestly, even if I had known, I don't think I'd be worried about it. I just like.
You know you got your balloons.
Yeah.
Sharon would have come through.
Sharon had it, so it's all good.
I
Absolutely.
honestly, in my first career, I spent every day in an operating room, and I don't think I ever felt as stressed in the operating room as I did that night with those balloons. And every time I turned around to look at Mike, he was hands on his knees, bent over laughing.
He said he was, with a barrel? He was
Yes,
like
I
leaned
was
over a
leaned
barrel.
over a barrel.
He had tears rolling down his face laughing.
I thought I was going to die.
And then
Why didn't you record?
I was laughing too hard. I'm not
Oh,
kidding.
that'd been great.
yeah,
That'd
it
been
was
great.
it was something.
So, is there anything you would change from your day?
Not from that day, no.
Uh-oh.
But we do have something.
Yes, I do have some things that I would change. Andrew and I, so I guess the wedding ended at 11. Am I doing it? Ish. So we went back and we had a flight to catch that next day to get to Jamaica for our honeymoon. And so we got up at 4 a.m. after our wedding.
Gosh.
Wait, you didn't get, when did you get back to the hotel?
Midnight?
Like midnight, but then we went to hang out with all our friends. So we didn't.
So you didn't even go to bed?
Oh no, we went to, well, I tried to go to bed. Andrew went straight to bed. So then I was the one that was putting on the alarms and like getting everything together. And then his dad drove us to the airport. But I would not recommend that. I would say give yourself a day because it was painful.
I remember it was so funny. We went to eat breakfast, brunch, whatever you call it, at Cracker Barrel. My husband, who was Katie's DJ, and my assistant, and we went. And lo and behold, who's there but Katie's parents and all her brothers are at the Cracker Barrel. And they were all like, you should have seen them. Like, it was all, like, they were exhausted and it was like noon. So.
I distinctly said to Andrew's dad, who was waiting for us at the lobby, that I had to text say, we are coming, I promise that we're up. We are surviving or not thriving.
Yeah.
Wow. So give yourself more time.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe leave on
It's a
Monday.
long day. It's a long day.
Yeah.
I mean, you started at what time the day of your wedding?
Actually, we had 2 people for each thing, so that helped us with our time. So it was like 9.
We had 2 hair and 2 makeup.
So, but
But
you
my
did
wedding was
breakfast
till
at
6.
you did breakfast at 9.
I came a little bit later, but Andrew and I got up and just kind of did our own thing, and then everyone was at hair and makeup at 9. But so all my girls were there.
Yeah, but Katie came in a little bit later after she
Yeah.
finished breakfast.
Still 16 hours.
Yeah.
The normal wedding day for me, like on my clock, is about 19, 20 hours usually.
Yeah.
I mean, you're exhausted.
Yeah, definitely give yourself a day. And I also will say, in these ever-changing times that we're in, I probably wouldn't have gone international, only because it made me stressed out to take a COVID test right before my wedding. Because I was like, it's all over.
Yeah.
If you test positive, your wedding's canceled.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend it. But it was
Because
great.
you
It
were
worked
going
out.
out of the country.
Yeah,
And
so
then you
good.
got tested to come back.
Yeah. Which is
How
fine.
far
I love
ahead?
staying.
How far ahead of wedding day did you guys get your test? I don't remember.
I had to do it that Thursday. And
Isn't
so
it 48 hour or is it 48 to 72?
It was 72 hours before your flight, and so we did it the Thursday before. But just being a worry, that was like the only thing that stressed me out at the end of the day.
But that's a really good point though about
Yeah.
so going out of the country and stuff for your honeymoon, no problems.
Nope, no problems. Nope. I broke my phone the first night.
That's not necessarily
So-
a bad thing, right?
I mean, Andrew and I's first purchase together as a married couple was my new cell phone.
Where did you guys stay? What do you have to tell us about that?
We stayed in an all-inclusive. It was a new place, the Excellence Club in Jamaica, and it was great.
My son and daughter-in-law went there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was gorgeous, and everyone there was so nice. I loved like the all-inclusive atmosphere. We kind of just got so much needed sleep and rest and relaxation, and just time together at the end of the day was so great. But we didn't really do a whole lot. We just kind of
Enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was nice, and I didn't realize how tired I really was because I was having so much fun
Uh-huh.
leading up to it. But then when I got there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna sleep.
How's it been like since you've gotten home and kind of settling into life? You were so hands-on with your wedding planning.
Yeah.
Has it been like, what am I supposed to do with my time? Like,
I do feel like I have a lot of time. Not really questioning it, like what should I do with my time? But I miss my people that I used to talk to all the time. I think it's so sad. But yeah, it is. It's like you're so invested, and then it's 24 hours. It's over. It's crazy how fast.
That's hard for me too. I get so close to especially to my girls, to my
Yeah.
brides, and then
Yeah.
when wedding day's over, I feel like I'm not going to see them anymore. So this has
Yes.
been nice to get to see you. And
Well, that's one thing being a vendor. You know, I mean, I have been doing this for a long time, and you become close to people, and then the day's there, and then they're gone.
And it's like,
well, okay, turn the page, next on the list. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I hate about my job the most.
I wonder if our couples would be shocked at how much we sit around and reminisce about our couples.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember at Katie's wedding, or do you remember at Kelsey's wedding when this happened, or we do that a lot, like parents sitting around
Right.
talking about their kids,
Right.
kind of.
Yeah.
Well, because not only is the couple invested in their immediate family, but your whole wedding team is for that day. So
Well, and also Katie's mom was with us at just about every meeting, and the way we talked about Katie's temperament on wedding day, her mom was exactly the same way. She never worried about anything. I remember saying, one of the things I say to my people a lot, to my brides and bridal party stuff, is I'll say, give me an adjective. Tell me how you're feeling. Because, if they come off with stressed or scared or whatever, then I know what I need to do. And I remember saying to Katie, give me an adjective. And she goes, happy. I'm just happy. And so I go to Pam. I'm like, okay, give me an adjective. How are you feeling? She said, joy. She was not worried about a thing. She literally took in every single moment of watching her daughter's wedding day.
and you can't want more for anybody else, I think, than
Yeah.
just that.
Well, and we spent, what was it, February we went to Castle
Uh-huh.
and we met, that's when I met you all for the first time. And then we met at the shop, and then we did the shower. That was very, very
Yes.
fun.
Uh-huh.
And then
People
the
are
wedding.
still talking about that
Yeah,
shower.
yeah.
Yes.
And then we had the wedding, and I mean, it was Thank you. It filled my life a whole lot, for that year. It was amazing.
It's such a people business, and this year's been so hard. So to feel appreciated like you guys made your vendors feel, and to feel included and cared about, I agree. Like, tons of gratitude to you guys, because it made it'll be in my heart forever. It was very, very special.
It seems like this is an event. There's just some of those that resonate, and it just always comes up. You always think about it. And I feel like for you both, how you've talked about it, it is definitely one of those events.
Well, and every single couple, like we've talked about so many times, we do this every weekend, but it's their one and only.
Absolutely.
They deserve 100, like we've said, percent of us every day. But there are some clients that you just get really close to, and it's sad when it's over a little bit. It really is.
It really is sad.
Yeah.
But also, our day could not have happened without these two people right here. So, and that's so true at the end of the day.
I think one of the things we did that I'm happy we did is asking Mike to stay on site, because we did repurpose some things from the ceremony to the reception. I think having him there, it always makes me feel better when he's there, because I know that
Always makes her feel better.
it does. It 100% does. And he was able to take some of the ceremony flowers and cover up the legs of the flower wall, that kind of thing. So I think when you're able to have more of your vendor team on site, I think that's really, really
And
good.
we came up with more stories, and we'll share those with you later.
I can't wait. Oh, I have some stories that Sharon's gonna love too.
Oh no.
Should not be said on the podcast.
And we won't. That's all right. Okay, so as we close this out.
Yep.
Okay. You have a new couple that's listening. They just got engaged. What would you share with them?
One, hire a wedding planner. Two, though, I think you need to really sit down and think about what your goals are. So we have a video on here, and Andrew's dad, he was our officiant, and he got up and said kind of like what we had wanted for the wedding before they started the ceremony. And our number one goal was we wanted everyone to feel like family. Don't worry about something going wrong. Just be here and have fun. You're here. We're going to celebrate together. And so we had that goal throughout the day and throughout the whole wedding planning process. And so I think that really created this event, that it was a big event, but at the end of the day, I felt like everyone just felt so loved all together, and we were all so close, even though there was 100 some odd people there. So I would say make your priorities. And if that's your priority, then you plan around that.
Amazing.
That's awesome advice.
That's awesome.
And
Incredible advice.
And mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loved your wedding. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in to share all this with us, Katie, because it was great to talk to you beforehand and then after. Sharon, Mike, anything else? I mean, we could talk to her for all day.
We did.
Hours on end, right?
Katie, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing, your life with us and your planning journey with us.
And we're looking forward to the future too, because we're still here too.
We're
with
still
other
here.
events that's coming up.
I got 3 brothers, so.
Okay.
Bring it.
Notice she pushed that off on her
Yeah.
brothers, right? Okay. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. And for those listening, you heard us talk a lot about pictures and some video as well. We'll get that pushed out on our social media, and you can see the video from this episode recording on our YouTube channel. Katie, this is going to help so many other people that listen to this episode. So it's been a lot of fun reminiscing with you, but this information and how it's going to carry on and help people, you don't know how many people you're genuinely going to help by opening up and talking about it. So thank you.
And if you want to have a first anniversary party, we're in. We'll do it.
Okay, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And as Sharon always says, Mike, what are we looking for?
A glowing 5-star review.
If you enjoy listening. Did Sharon have to word that to you?
No.
Okay.
I want
Do you
to
have
make
the
sure I
sign?
just got it out and to be perfect. A glowing 5-star review.
Right.
There's no other time.
Okay, until next time, take care.